Yo, today's video I'm gonna make about how I bought my dream car at the time. So there's a lot of things that I did that I didn't even know I was doing, and I kind of learned them later in life, or like a few years later. That like, hey, I was doing this. This really makes sense. So, how I bought my first car, pretty much, how I got obsessed with it, and then the things I did to be able to accomplish that goal, and then how I finally got it. So, how I got obsessed with it. So, pretty much, whenever I drove, at the time I had a Mercury Milan, I drove that car. I was pretending. So, my dream car when I was in college was a C6 CO6, right? That's all I wanted. I didn't care what it was. And the reason behind that, obviously, dollar per horsepower plus cool car coolness. That's a thing. That won out, right? You couldn't get a faster car for the dollar than that car, in that budget that I had, right? So I got literally obsessed with it. All I looked at 24/7 on the internet was Z06 Corvettes, nonstop. I knew like every single one that was for sale. I knew the colors in what state. I knew everything, right? And not just that, but I literally, like I said, I would drive my Mercury Milan and I would pretend it was a stick shift, and it was slow, right? Super slow. But I was still like pretending like I was shifting gears. The shifter was all blown out and stuff. I was pretending to hit the clutch, all that stuff. Even getting sideways. It was a front wheel drive car. If you know anything about cars, that'll be funny. So I literally just got obsessed with it, and all I saw nonstop was just Z06s, and that's because you're RAS, and that's a whole nother cool thing. But it's pretty much when you focus on one thing, that's all you see all the time. So just look at your car and just think about it a lot, whatever car you have, and then you'll just see a million more. And it's like, hey, where did all these come from? But your brain just starts noticing it. So what I did to do that. So I was going to school full time. I was working full time, and I was flipping cars and parts and anything else I could do to make money. So I remember how many cars I flipped. It was somewhere between like 5 to 10. And it was all trucks and Jeeps and stuff, because that stuff always sells the quickest. And I saved up pretty much half the money. So I bought the car. I think I paid like $45K for it, and I saved up like $20K. And then like the search began to find the one I wanted. Of course, it needed to be Jetstream Blue. And yeah, and I found it, and then jumped on a plane with a buddy and went and got it. And it was the coolest thing I've ever done, up until the next cool car I'm gonna buy. So that's kind of how I did it. And I think that car means like so much more than just being a car, right? It means me putting my mind to something and me going after it and accomplishing that goal. And so it's more than just a car, which is pretty cool. So now that I know that, I learned later that what your obsessions become your reality, or whatever. There's a saying that goes something like that. So pretty much just set really high goals and just work towards them really hard, and some way or another it'll happen, right? Like, you just gotta get after it. But that's really how I bought my dream car. I pretty much just became obsessed with it, found a way to make money, and I did it. And I think if I would have set my goal even higher, I would have gotten to that point also. So that is pretty much how that happened. And I'm curious if you ever had, I don't know, like some people aren't into cars, right? Like a dream car, a dream home, a dream, I don't know, bicycle, motorcycle, whatever you're into, television, furniture, clothes, watch, jewelry, whatever. I'm curious, have you ever just become so obsessed with it that that's literally all you see, and then eventually you do end up getting it because you just pretty much attract it? So let me know in the comments. I'm curious.